And I asked this because I wanted your understanding.
Okay.
Right? And as you will have seen from the exhibit file, you, Commissioner Mkhwanazi, had lengthy conversations on WhatsApp, inter alia, I guess, with Mr. van Wyk about issuing them with appointment cards. Is that the same thing, appointment cards as a peace officer, or is there a distinction?
Lengthy discussions
with Van Wyk?
In my cell phone conversation?
No, in your cell phone conversations with Mr. Van Wyk?
No, I did not have lengthy conversations. The only time I have serious conversation, it was when we did the documents. But on cell phone conversation, I don't have lengthy conversation with Mike. As
okay.
I've said that Mike was not that close to me. I can't have lengthy conversation.
We will get to that.
Yeah, please.
So let me restate it this way. You've had conversations with Mr. Van Wyk about appointment cards.
Yes.
Now, my question was, are those appointment cards relating to appointment as peace officer?
Yes, as peace officer.
And if I could ask us to go to page 67 of the bundle, that will be CJC 144. And exhibit bundle. Have you located it, Commissioner Baloyi? CJC 144. No, CJC 144, page 67. Thank you. Commissioner Mkhwanazi, you have located that exhibit?
Yes.
Now, this is a card that reads specialized services for inquiries referred to EMPD Brigadier J.D. Mkhwanazi with a number. You see that?
Yes.
On the left hand side is the logo for the EMPD, as if I see it correctly, and on the right is Anabis. Now, you recall that in the MOU at Annexure RS10 of species bundles, the party to that MOU was identified as Medicare 24 Emergency Medical Services / Anabis Protection Services. You recall that?
Yes.
Okay. So now this is a card then that reflects sort of a joint venture or approval of joint operations under the names of both EMPD and Anabis. And it directs whoever is given the card to make any further inquiries to you. You produced that card, didn't you?
No.
Who produced that card?
I really don't know, because even the numbers here, I don't know these numbers.
Okay.
I never had such, because in our workplace, you move with your number. When they allocate to the line number or telecom number, it's your number till you get or till you retire. an office number, becomes office number.
Okay.
Our office numbers are not shared. I don't know this number.
Okay, then.
And we can't produce this thing because, no, let me say I don't know. Let me not explain, I don't know this.
Then let's turn to page 69 of the same bundle. And at page 69, is communication between yourself and Mike van Wyk. The first message at the top of that page of the 6th of December 2021 at 5:53, which as you note, it indicates it has been read. That would be at the top right corner above the date. It reads, "Good morning, Mike. Kindly prepare. Gwabe will be coming to finalize the issue of appointment cards today. I've already given him a clue." Do you see that? The
Yes,
first
I
message.
see that.
Okay, what clue had you given to Mr. Who's Gwabe? Let me start there.
Gwabe is he was the director of training that time. As I've said that when you, in terms of Peace Corps, it is them that are running trainings.
Director of training
Yes,
within
he was.
EMPD.
Yes, he was.
At the time. So you are informing Mr. van Wyk that the director is coming to finalize the issue of appointment cards today, that day, which would be the 6th of December 2021. And you state that I've already given him a clue, right? So I want to know what finalization of appointment cards was Mr. Gwabe to do?
I spoke about peace officers' cards, not that, I don't know what that thing is, not even part of us.
Okay.
Yes.
So it was the peace officer cards?
Yes.
So you were intending to issue to Mr. van Wyk peace officer cards?
No. If I remember very well, I won't remember everything because it's a long time. If I remember well, we had engagement of the program of training for peace officers in terms of, as I've said, in terms of different people that will be volunteering, who want to become part of those engagement. After we met the MMC and they said, no, push, I think that program is going to take us somewhere.
Mr. Mkhwanazi, it reads, "Good morning, Mike. Kindly prepare. Gwabe will be coming to finalize the issue of appointment cards." What were you talking about there? What was he to finalize?
Peace officers, the issue of peace officers' cards and training.
Okay.
Because you can't get a peace officer card without undergoing as a volunteer that training.
So you are having this conversation with Mike van Wyk. Were you intending, was my question, to issue such cards to Mr. van Wyk?
No, I'm saying I've said Gwabe will be finalizing.
I'm still trying to understand what exactly he'll be finalizing.
I'm talking about peace officers' card.
What do you mean by he'll be finalizing? Perhaps let's take it from that point.
They will be engaging, talking and finalizing, both of them, about peace officers' card.
What about them? What about the cards? What about the cards will they be finalizing?
As I've said that before we needed volunteers, and before you become a volunteer, you must be trained. Gwabe knows the program, knows how does it done, and how to become. It's not part of my specialty.
Okay.
And I couldn't even explain it better. Even I could say I can't explain it better than the person who's running, who understands it better than I.
Okay.
Sorry, what was Mike van Wyk's involvement or interest in the training of peace officers and the issuing of peace officer cards? Why was he relevant to that?
Yes. No, he was one of those that were volunteering. That no, I want to become one of those volunteers.
So your answer to Ms. Sello is you were talking, Mike van Wyk was going to be a volunteer. He was interested in being a volunteer peace officer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. So Mike van Wyk was going to get a card because he wanted to volunteer as a peace officer.
All those that were going to volunteer. All those were going to be.
Let's say in
trained.
Mike's outfit, how many people were to get these peace officer cards?
I'm not sure. I can't answer.
More
that.
than what? More than Mike himself, or just Mike?
No, the volunteers. All that will be volunteering.
Okay.
That are employed by a registered security company.
Okay.
For that time, we wanted to start with that because other volunteers, you were supposed to pay them. But those that are volunteering, that will be agreeing that I'm not going to get money, but I want to be part of, like the reservists in other institutions, like SAPS doesn't pay them, but they become the volunteers.
So now, what would be the value of a peace officer card in the hands of the holder of such a card? What would be the value? What does the card enable them to do, put differently?
Yes, in terms of monitoring, in terms of by law when we are dumping, you see, can come and say and communicate and say, oh wait, I'm going to call an officer or the unit that does that. And the person, when they communicate with us as officers, then I will come and charge you in terms of, for example, you find people when they're in accident, they come and cause accident, they run away. A peace officer will stop and say, wait for an officer, communicate with a trained officer or an appointed traffic warden or an officer. And in terms of, as I mentioned that, Saturdays, that's where we're having serious challenges, where there are funerals and as they see, you can't pay overtime for each and every one, you see. But at least if we are having, like now, we are having tax associations in different areas. It is them who are controlling traffic. It was going to assist again in stopping what is happening, where you are having people with reflectors that you don't know, where they wear reflectors and come and do traffic control. But it was going to assist us in terms of knowing that there's a volunteer, the name, ID number of that volunteer in that area.
Isn't the short answer that it's an identity card for a peace officer? That's how they identify themselves to members of the public and to other metro officers. If you have that card, it is proof that you are a registered peace officer.
And we know you, we can identify you.
Do you know that the issue of peace officers is regulated in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act, Act 51 of 1977? Are you aware of that?
Yes, that's why I've said Gobe will come and clarify, because it is them that we're specializing on that. It is them that we're running training and everything.
Okay.
I don't have too details of that. That is why I was involved in training, because in our workplace or in our work environment, it is given to training. After that, they will come to us and say, we've got this number, we've got these people, now we can come and work with them.
Are you aware, and it's going to be shown on the screen now, that Section 1 of the Criminal Procedure Act defines a peace officer as one including a magistrate, justice, police official, and correctional services official. The definition is there on the screen. Are you aware of that?
With us, it is a different.
Also, you don't comply with the Criminal Procedure Act?
No, it was not the same concept. It was not the same. Our concept, it was not the same. You see, as we've said that, like, for example, let's have made an example that, like in the city of Cape Town, it's not magistrate, it's not police officer, it's not what is this, prison orders. It's just members of community that are volunteering to become.
I guess what I'm trying to communicate to you is that the concept of a peace officer is defined and determined by law, not by employees of EMPD. The law tells us who is a peace officer, and that is the definition I gave you.
Yeah, but our objective was not for that, because that it means it's us. As I'm a peace officer, as a metropolis, but the powers that we identified and the responsibilities that we're giving them is for these ones of a civilian.
Now,
as I've said, that it is civilians that have volunteered.
Now, Section 334 of the Criminal Procedure Act, it will be projected now, empowers only the minister to declare persons other than those included in the definition as peace officers. So the minister gets to determine who becomes a peace officer over and above those persons identified in the definition. Were you aware of that?
I'm aware of this, but as I've said that with us, it was not, as I've explained before, that it is not such powers. You see, that's why I said that we're pushing to benchmark with the city of Cape Town, where they're even volunteers that are not even us, because I'm a peace officer, as I'm standing. As we said that we are peace officers, the commissioners are peace officers, but our concept or our understanding, it was not on that level that we give them those powers. We can't give those powers.
Indeed, because the Criminal Procedure Act tells us what powers they have, and I'm going to remind you. A peace officer has the power in terms of Section 40 and Section 41 of the Criminal Procedure Act to arrest without a warrant. It gives such peace officer in terms of Section 23, subsection 1, sub A, the power to conduct a search and seizure during arrest. And Section 44 of the Criminal Procedure Act also empowers such peace officer to execute a warrant of arrest. So those are the powers of a peace officer.
Yes, I get to, but even if you check in this memorandum or the proposed or the memorandum, and it doesn't even talk about those powers. You see, it's something different from the regulation or from the act. There's no way we touch such acts and power or such powers.
But you indicated that the holder of such a card, identifying them as a peace officer, gives him or her a level of authority over whomever it's being presented to. And I'm telling you the authority that the law says is bestowed upon a peace officer.
I think I'm not putting it, when I say peace officer, I'm not putting it the way our objective or the way we wanted it to be, because it failed, but not the way we wanted it to be.
Okay. Can we go back to your page 69? And that is the chat with Mr. van Wyk, after you had told him that Gwabe will be coming to prepare, to finalize the issue of appointment cards. I want you to go to chat number 4 on that. It's a message from you. And it's in response to a previous message appearing above. What must I tell him so that we are on the same page? I don't know who the him is. I'll assume, judging by the date and the time of this conversation, that the him must be Gwabe. So he's asking, what must I tell Gwabe so that we are on the same page? And you respond, yes, the appointment shouldn't specify the demarcation, and we need it as soon as yesterday. I will also call and remind him again after 8:30. And the issue of adding members to appointment cards. Do you see that?
Yes.
So clearly in your conversation with Mike, the thinking was that peace officer cards will be issued to more than Mr. van Wyk himself, within Mr. van Wyk's entity, I assume. Are you willing to accept that?
Yes, as I've said that, we said any volunteer will undergo training.
Yeah, but then I'm saying those volunteers that you are talking about here are volunteers within Mr. van Wyk's legal entity, his company.
No.
Why would you be talking to Mr. van Wyk about volunteers he knows nothing about?
Remember, no, you did know. Remember, we have discussed many things with Mike. That's why there was this document that I accepted before that, yes, it is me and Mike and others. When we started with that, we had some engagement about this document. And after this, we had already had a meeting with the chief. We have already had a meeting with some councillors and the MMC of community safety. You see, he knows and understands the concept and what we are talking about.
So EMPD and Mike van Wyk were discussing the issuing of peace officers to all volunteers for EMPD.
Not only Mike van Wyk.
I don't know. I'm talking about the conversation here. I know it's with Mike. I don't know any other entity, but with Mike. It's
Yeah,
about
yeah.
all volunteers,
Yeah, I was talking about Mike, yes. Not
Yes.
only him, all volunteers.
all volunteers.
Yes.
Those who work for Mike and,
I didn't say so. Yeah.
no, I
Oh,
say, I'm
let me listen
asking.
to you.
I'm
Yes.
asking. That means, all means those who work for Mike and those who don't work for Mike, as long as they have volunteered to EMPD. Mike is discussing the issue of their appointment cards with EMPD.
Yes, I had an engagement because he was part of the discussion, and when the concept started, he was part of that.
Okay. Now let's go to page 47 of the same file.
So maybe before.
Yes, please.
Before you leave, that chat, Commissioner, that chat 4, where it says, right at the end, it says, and the issue of adding members to appointment cards. Why would you, if you're not referring to members of Mike's company, who are you referring to here?
Yes.
Because this is a conversation with Mike's, right?
Yes. Yeah, as I've said, Commissioner, we had engagement and we've had engagement with other volunteers, and he has also had engagement with some of the companies or other companies that he knows that there are volunteers who want to be part of that.
Was Mike a representative of all those other companies?
No, but he communicated too. We didn't limit it. There was no specific regulation when we want volunteers that to say, no, Mike, don't. You see, communicated with other people. You see,
So
he was
that-
not a representative per se. Let me say that. He was
Yes,
not a
so my question is, why would you be discussing the issue of adding other members who are not members of his company?
As I've said, that I can't talk on his behalf, but he had already communicated with other companies because he knows those companies. He knows those people that want to be volunteers.
So he was speaking for other companies as well?
Yes, because he had engaged and communicated with them. Yes, Commissioner.
And you say Gwabe was then director of training,
Yes.
which is what? He's head of a training institute?
Yes, EMPD training institution,
So
training academy. Yes.
Academy, yes. So what does he have to do with the issuing of appointment cards?
No, it is them that are training. You see, after training, then they will give names to the department. This we have trained 20. This 20 can be issued. We have trained 10. This 10 can be issued. And again, the liars. When you appoint those peace officers, you must also communicate within the department. It's the liars. In fact, they understand the legislations and everything. And it is them that says, we'll train this and this and this person, then you can.
So at this point of this exchange, all of which is on the 6th of December in 2021, had there been training of people from Mike's company? Because, and let me tell you why I'm asking that question, is because in that chat 4, you're already telling him what he should say to Gwabe about what goes onto the card. You say the appointment shouldn't specify the demarcation and tell him we need it as soon as yesterday. So this is very specific about people that have already been trained. Yeah, at least that's what it suggests.
Yes. I don't remember, Commissioner. I don't remember at that time. Truly, I don't.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I mean,
in fact, there were some programs that they've already started. It's just that I'm not sure how far they went. You see, I don't remember that. You see, in the specific time frames or the specific times.
well, chat 4, the way it reads, it suggests that it is specific cards that are going to be discussed, so specific candidates, not just general about what the program is about, but specific cards that must be issued, that must not say anything about the demarcation, and you will still tell Ms. Sello what the demarcation is about, but also there's an agency to it. We need it as soon as yesterday, suggests that there are people who are waiting to be issued, who are waiting and ready to be issued with cards. In the way I read it, it must mean that you already had people who had to be issued with cards.
We may have trained. We may have trained, it's just that I don't remember.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes.
Ms. Sim?
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Commissioner Baloyi indicates that perhaps in engagement with me, that we'll be able to clarify what you mean in that statement where it reads, the appointment shouldn't specify the demarcation. Do you see where I'm reading? Chat 4, your message from you?
That's what the commissioner was reading.
Yes, now
Yes,
I want to
just
know.
that I can't see clearly, but I have listened to her when she was reading it.
Well, because she had said, I thought she had said that it's in engagement with me that it will become clear. So I'm trying to follow up on that. What did you mean by the words, the appointment shouldn't specify the demarcation?
Okay. The seat is divided into 3 regions.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, and the precincts. You see, in terms of our officers, they're limited. No, they're not limited, but for example, in the police station, we've got 10 officers in Tsakane, 10 officers in Davidton. But we said in terms of volunteers, that's when we can even utilize, for example, the funerals that are in the townships, the numbers, it's not the same as the funerals that are in suburbs. You see, but when we have volunteers, we can be able to take 2 or 3 that side and say, come. It mustn't be, or the card mustn't be saying, you are going to work and assist in Tsakane, not in Tutuza, but it must say you are going to assist in the city, or you'll be volunteers in the city. That will be assistance in terms of working with them. Because we're demarcated per regions and precincts.
But EMPD has got authority over the entire Ekurhuleni. It doesn't have that. EMPD members, they operate in all the regions.
No, they are working per regions.
EMPD members.
Yeah, working. There's south, east, north, then we've got bylaws, then we've got specialized, then we've got those that are doing admin, we've got your logistic, I forgot the other one. It's divided.
Okay.
It's divided.
So that would mean then an EMPD member allocated to Tsakani cannot operate anywhere within Ekurhuleni, do I understand you correctly?
You must get a permission. When you leave your area, you must get a permission from your supervisor or your precinct commander.
Okay.
It is, okay,
And that is a general principle.
yes.
Now, understanding the activities of Constable Stalls and Constable Mackenzie, what area were they allocated to?
Specialized are everywhere. Specialized, they work in the whole city. It's not a precinct, it's not a police station, it's per units. In the morning, they can wake up reporting direct where there are challenges. They can go to, they go to Tutuza if there are challenges. Afternoon or during the day, they can move to Tutuza and go to Tembisa. All the specialized services, all the 14 units, except freeway and airport. But they're part of the specialized units. Freeway, they work strictly in the freeways, not in the CPTs.
Okay.
Airport, strictly at OR Tambo Airport. Then all other specialized units, as I've said, that others are doing a taxi violence task team. They may wake up, found that today they were working in Zonkizizo, it was a challenge. Afternoon or during the day, they've stabilized the area. There are challenges in Tembisa. They must drive from south to north to go and address those, because the unit that deals with taxi conflict, taxi violences, public order policing. When there are protests, they can wake up and say, this week or this morning it's quiet in our area. We are working at Germiston Civic Center, or maybe where we are doing other duties, because there's nothing that, because to allow them that even if you are in public order policing unit, you can issue fine.
Yes.
You see.
No,
but if there's a challenge in Tutuza, it's too far. It's 45 minutes or what, but they must respond and go and work. They can work there for 3 days. In fact, sometimes they will inform the supervisor when you wake up, or the supervisor calls them at night and say, wake up, there's this challenge in such an area. and find that they go there, there's not even the supervisor, they go there and normalize the situation, or the supervisor will run there and say, guys, I'm here, this is the location, come here. Then they will respond to that. Specialized services at the end, bylaws too. It's specialized services, if I'm not mistaken, and bylaws. Bylaws again, we've got bylaws that are centralized, a team that works in the whole Ekurhuleni. Then we've got precincts that are also executing bylaws. But there's a team that today, you can say, we're having challenges of hawkers or challenges of the guys that are disrespecting municipal bylaws. Can you go and address them? For example, illegal tuck shops, illegal buildings in such an area. They can stay there for a week. Whilst they still are busy, find that there's another complaint of a serious one in terms of bylaws, in terms of erecting structures and...
I understand. I just wanted to get an understanding how it works.
thank you.
And that's why I reference in particular Constables, Stalls and Mackenzie. Now, again, as a general question, how many EMPD...
Can I give you other names? They will think that you hate
No,
them.
please don't. I beg. Rather, how many members of EMPD, as you, from when you were, before you were suspended, how many members were there of EMPD, and what percentage of them were members of the specialized services, which in this period fell under your command? It doesn't have to be a specific number. You can give me in percentage terms.
2021 or 2023? Let me say it is 1,700 EMPD.
Yes.
I'm not talking about traffic wardens. I'm not talking about those that are doing admin but who are working. We're not police officers.
Yes, I'm talking about police officers.
Out of that, we've got 400 who were, by that time, who were in specialized services.
Okay, that gives me a good sense.
Yes.
Thank you. And so
in fact, let me say we tried to balance between specialized services and the region in terms of numbers.
Okay.
You see.
Yeah, I accept that.
But it won't be exact. You can't balance it exactly because people are moving on a daily basis. They put transfers. They relocate, they get married, they want to go and stay this
Indeed.
side. There are many challenges, there are not challenges, but there are many movements.
I just wanted to get a
Yes.
number, the split between specialized services and non-specialized services, and I'm happy with the explanation you have given, about 30-40%. I don't take issue with that, I'm happy with it, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I would like us to go to page 47 of the same file.